Okay, so the reason I'm making this video is during my time developing with Joomla over the years, and also assisting on the forum and helping people get started with Joomla, one of the things I see as a big problem is people trying to do local testing, which is a great idea, but trying to do local testing not on a true development platform. It's a really good idea to get as close to a true working LAMP stack, in other words, an Apache web server. Now this is possible, but there's a right way and perhaps a not so right way to do it. I'd like to think that what I'm about to show you is the best possible way you can set up a true local testing WAMP server. WAMP is the one that I prefer to use, only because it's the one I've used since I first started dealing with it in its early times. It's now gone through a lot of different incarnations, and it's a very good solid testing development platform. As well as WAMP, I beg your pardon, there's a few other little tools that I'm going to ask you to use, just because again, I find them very easy to use and certainly will assist in your developing. One of the other ones I want you to do a search for, I can tell you where it is, but it's just as easy to search for NPAD2. It's an advanced notepad that has syntax highlighting, which we'll go into later on. If you do a search for NPAD2, you'll find it available on the very first link you find, and it's from Snap Files, which is a good resource as well. So just go ahead and download that and save it to your local desktop. And while we're at Snap Files, another one you can grab, which we'll need later on, is some type of SMTP server for your local machine. Although it's not absolutely crucial, it is a good idea because it allows you to truly set up and test Joomla as if it was a real server. So if you just do a search for either SMTP server, or if you know the one you want to use, just do a search for Postcast server, and that should go right ahead and find it. There it is there. So go and grab that, and we'll install that a bit later as well. And of course you will need WAMP, and you'll find WAMP at www.wampserver.com. and if you want to just skip ahead and just type in there EN for English, if that's what you are. And right on the front page you'll find download WAMP server. There we go, and away you go, download from there. And of course you'll need the latest copy of Joomla, so just go and get your latest copy, and you'll normally find that right here. Full version, full package, download the zip. Personally, I always prefer to download the tar, but that's just a personal decision, only because you can also use it on to more effect on a LAMP server. So if you do have the ability to download the tar, then you can grab that as well. Just for now, because I'm only working on a Windows machine, we'll just grab the full version, download that zip, grab that, and save it to disk. Okay, so let's go start and installing a few of those. So we'll go over to my downloads folder, and let's install Notepad 2 first. It's nice and easy. Just follow the prompts to install it, and then there's one last little thing we need to do right at the end. You can go ahead and choose whatever options you want there. No need to read the view me. So the only thing you have to do just to make it a little bit more accessible is just go and find the program folder, and you'll find that in /program files zahara.org, and just go and copy the executable, and then go to /windows /system32 and enter, and just paste it right in there. And the reason you do that is once it's in the System32, then in order to run it, and this is my favorite way of being able to run things, just go Start Run, or Windows key R is also the other shortcut to it, and just type in npad2, and it will just start it straight away, and there it is. And Notepad 2 doesn't look very fancy, but it's got great syntax highlighting, and we'll use that lots later on. So you can just go ahead and close that for the moment. Okay, let's go ahead and install Wamp. Again, go to your download folder, and I've deleted Wamp. Hey presto, it magically reappears. So click on the executable, the installer for Wamp. Again, follow the prompts. That last prompt there was just advising you not to upgrade from the previous versions of Wamp. So we're doing a fresh install here. Go ahead and follow the prompts. Leave that one as standard. That's a good idea. And you can tick these if you'd like. I prefer not to. Click on install, and away it goes. You might get a little prompt about Firefox being your default browser. You can tick yes if you'd like, and you can go ahead and do that. It should finish. Ask you a couple little questions. This is why we have an SMTP server. So localhost is fine. You can put whatever you like here if you have one. If you don't, then just you can even just simply put info if you like. We can change that later on, and trust me, don't worry about too much about that at the moment. And go ahead and launch the Wamp 2 server now. You should get a message something like this if you've got standard Windows. If it might be something else, you might have Vista. It might show you a similar alert, but just suffice to say you want to go ahead and unblock that. Okay, so if it doesn't start straight away, you should now find Wamp in your program directory. Just go and start Wamp. Now, many of you will find that when it first starts, it shows a little icon down the bottom here. And as you get to know Wamp better, you'll discover that that icon, the way that icon is at the moment, which if you can't quite see it, it's got a partial yellow part in it. That's not a good sign. What that means is that not all services have started. There's two main services that need to start in Wamp. There's Apache Web Server, and there's the MySQL database. Little icon right next to us, in my case, is actually the reason why that's happening, and this is a very common situation and one that stumps people sometimes. What it is both these programs, one being Skype, one being Wamp Server, they both want to use port 80 to access the internet. They both can't use port 80 at the same time, so you have to tell one of them not to. Trust me when I say it's much easier to open up Skype, go to the Tools, Options, Advanced, and Connection, and untick this icon here. Use port 80 and 443 as alternatives. Click on Save, close that, and also just close Skype for a moment, and then click on the left click on the Wamp icon and click on Restart All Services, and we should find that now it shows a full white logo icon, I should say. Okay, so just to prove that we are working, let's go and hit localhost. Oops, move that across. Localhost. That is the command, which I'll show you where that comes from later. That is the command to tell your browser to point to your default www directory. And there it is. So what it says is, it says go and look at your own computer, and have we got a web server running on our local computer? And if we have, tell that web server to go and serve at its default page. And that's what we're now looking at. So we feel very proud of ourselves. Just to go one small step further, just to prove that it is in fact working. If we go to our c:\wamp directory and into the www directory, this is where we're going to store all our projects and all our websites. If you just go ahead and make it just a new folder and just call it test for a moment, just go in there and we'll just make a new file and we'll call it index.html, and we'll open that up with Notepad 2. We'll just type in there hello world. And we'll save that. So now we'll go back to our browser and type in /test, and there we go. So we feel very proud of ourselves now. We have a working web server on our computer.